Hey y'all, Scott here, and I'd love to putz around and talk some Yoshi Touch and Go, but I have places to do and things to be, and I have to loaf around in the cellar for a while. You see, I thought we were in the post-apocalyptic phase of the Wii Shop channel closure, but nope! It turns out we were only in the pre-apocalyptic phase. We're currently in the apocalypse phase since people can't basically buy WiiWare games anymore. And since I'm one of the few people with a Wii system filled to the brim with WiiWare games, I'm a wanted man. Just look at this. That's me! I don't know who else it could be! If only past me would have done something about the Wii Shop channel closure and not just exploit and show off old WiiWare games. Let's take a look at some more WiiWare games. Castlevania the Adventure. Yeah, it reeks. So why not play the vastly superior recreation, the Adventure Rebirth? This was in the lineup of Rebirth games Konami put out on WiiWare, the others being Contra Rebirth and Gradius Rebirth. These three games were treated as throwbacks to yesteryear, harkening back to the earlier titles in the franchises. Adventure Rebirth was the only one of the three that was fully based off of a past game and improved on everything from the original. It controls better, sounds better, looks better, it's just an overall better experience. It really makes me go, oh, why aren't more bad games remade like this? It replaces a bad game with a better one. And then I realize, oh, well, nobody likes bad games, so it's safer to remake a game people actually like to begin with to ensure the most sales. Oh well, Adventure Rebirth was also noteworthy for being one of the first Castlevania titles in forever that followed the pre-Symphony of the Night gameplay formula for the series. It's just pure simple Castlevania, and while it's not mind-blowing or anything, it's definitely a highlight on the WiiWare service. So this is why Konami stopped making games. Ant Nation is for the ant lover in all of us. The title is jam-packed with 100 ant-filled missions to complete, ranging from touching your ant to using a magnifying glass. I love ants, so this game just speaks to me. Whenever anybody asks, hey, what do you use your Wii for these days? I always tell them Netflix and ants. Well, that's Ant Nation for you. It's an ant simulator. I got as much out of it as I could, and unfortunately stopped playing before we got to the ant breeding portion of the gameplay loop. However, there is this bonus game we still have to check out. And this was the moment I discovered some guy at Konami really f***ing hates ants. Jesus! This entire mode is dedicated to torturing and killing ants with an assortment of tools ranging from rockets, fire, a foot. I'm not gonna lie and say I didn't enjoy this compared to the main game, but holy shit, guys. I guess Konami didn't want to corner themselves in the ant lovers only market and truly made this game for everybody. TV Show King. I actually played this back in the day. It was published by Discount Ubisoft. Gameloft. They've made some of the highest quality shovelware out there. Nothing that's utter trash, but nothing too awful great either. With a name like TV Show King, I assumed this was gonna be a trivia game about TV shows. Well, I'm not a fucking genius, it's just a trivia game show, but I am a fucking genius, so we're gonna be limping along on genius difficulty. We're graded to our host Jerry. They really pulled out all the stops on this one. Think of TV Show King as Wheel of Fortune meets Who Wants to Be a Millionaire meets a 65 on Metacritic. Also, this game really has a thing against commas. What's a two-handed handplan and snowboarding? Well, I already answer handy to most questions, so why not? As the rounds progress, TV Show King likes to make sure you're still paying attention by upping the ante, like making you remove the crust on the choices before selecting and illuminating them with your remote. I lost. Flight Control was a mobile game from 7 years ago. Like, this sat there alongside the titans of the industry. Cut the Rope, Angry Birds, Coin Flip. This was a game that was consistently at the top of the App Store charts. You just had to guide airplanes and helicopters to safely land without crashing into one another. And if you said, man, but I want to play this with that Ant Nation controller, you're in luck because they released a WiiWare version. It's basically the same game, but you play with the Wii remote pointer. It works well enough and is pretty decent by early iPhone game standards. But a Wii game though? I don't know, it's just not the most well-suited title for home consoles. You're only gonna play for 5 minutes at the most. Decent mobile game that works well on the Wii, but doesn't feel quite at home. Space Invade, damn it. WiiWare was truly the second coming of arcade titles. So many made a return on the service, so it was inevitable a reboot of Space Invaders would appear at some point. They're trying to add some plot to this, that's adorable. Alright, let's get this over with. This is nothing like what I was expecting. I just assumed this was gonna be an upgraded version of Space Invaders but on WiiWare, but the title doesn't lie. This is what happens when Space Invaders get even. You control the invaders and destroy a city. The concept is interesting, I'll give them that. It's kinda like Pac-Man Vs, where that was an old school arcade game letting you experience it from the enemy's perspective. But this is where my interest starts to wane. It's mildly entertaining for a bit, but it's pathetic in terms of content. You only get 3 levels for 500 Wii points and have to buy the rest of the game through more content packs. The overall price ends up being around 20 bones, and I'll definitely say I got my fill with just playing the first stage. I think it would have been best for this game to come with all the content for 10 bucks total, no extra level packs or nothing. Because as it stands, for 5 bucks, I feel like I wasted my money, and the idea of spending $15 more on this game made it difficult for me to fall asleep the past few nights. Bit.trip was a series of rhythm games released via WiiWare, all using Atari-style graphics with some modern-looking effects. I gotta say, with video games, especially indie ones, being obsessed with 8-bit graphics, seeing this style with such pizzazz is really something. I wish a few more games looked like this. There were tons of Bit.trip games released on WiiWare, the most popular which being Runner. You have to avoid obstacles and nab collectibles to the beat while running automatically. This is only the demo version though. I never played the Bit.trip games when they initially came out, but this is a pretty fun time. Thankfully, there exist multiple ways to play the Bit.trip series outside of WiiWare, including various physical releases, so definitely try this out if you get the chance. Runner also received some sequels, Runner 2 and Runner 3, and again, I haven't played these games. Man, the original Runner just looks so much better visually in my opinion. It just feels so much more unique. Soccer Up. The title alone got me excited. It's a soccer game based on my favorite direction. How could this go wrong? We have to pick a team. Well, North Korea sounds fun. And we're off, and Soccer Up is much more generic soccer game than I initially thought it would be. Remember Hockey All-Star Shootout from last time? I was expecting Soccer Up to be a garbage game like that, a mini game where you're shooting soccer balls into a goal or something. Nope, it's a completely different garbage game. It's just generic soccer. And pardon me, I don't play a lot of soccer games. No. But I can easily say that it is crazy difficult to keep track of who's on my team and who's not. Sure, the different teams have different colored jerseys, but the fact that all the models are the same with either dark or blonde hair makes it confusing. Other than that, this is basically like NES Soccer, but with 3D graphics. Like everybody else with an opinion, I'm not a fan of NES Soccer, but it was fine for the time. Soccer Up really has no excuse.
Mr. Driller!
Mr. Driller W. Out of 26 letters, they chose that one. The series is a spin-off / spiritual successor to Dig Dug and is more so puzzle-oriented. You have to drill through all these blocks while avoiding getting squished or running out of air. It's a fun time and can get wildly difficult. You have all these different characters to choose from, all with unique attributes, including the original star of Dig Dug himself. While it's a good version of the game, Mr. Driller W has very little differentiating itself from the various other titles in the series. That was a problem with a lot of WiiWare titles at the time. Many of them are simple high-score based games with better versions available elsewhere. Speaking of which, Frogger is an absolute classic. Its gameplay still holds up to this very day. Konami really tried to make Frogger a bigger name in gaming as the years went on, but he's more or less faded into obscurity. But this is what happens when Frogger returns. Oh god, it's like he never left. Frogger Returns makes me wheeze. This is just Frogger again, but it looks like trash, the music is disgusting, and the camera angle makes it difficult to judge where you are in comparison to other things in the world. Look at these dogs. Stop. Rabbids Lab is why many people don't like the Rabbids. It's a simple idea. A rabbit is inside your Wii remote. You can hit buttons and shake the thing to cause mayhem. You can then paint, customize, and perform a hate crime on them. That'll be 500 Wii points, please. This should just be a mode in a game. In fact, from what I've read, it is a mode in Rabbids Go Home. I've actually heard this is a pretty good game. I personally haven't played it, but I personally have played Rabbids Lab. This is somewhat amusing for 2 minutes, but within that time you've seen everything the game has to offer. Next. Happy Holidays Halloween. Before you say thank you, let me talk about this game. This is a Halloween e-card creator on your Wii. You can pop a very select amount of art on a card, maybe some text, a sound or two, blam, send it to your Wii friends. Hallmark must have pissed themselves when this thing was announced. Through Space is a Nintendo-published game all about cramming Tetris wannabes into holes in the wall. Now I know what everybody is probably thinking. This is just a ripoff of Muscle March. Well, Through Space is really its own thing. It doesn't have whatever the hell this is, but it makes up for it by just being a simple, addictive puzzle game. Personality-wise, it's got nothing, but it's fun enough, I guess. Now, of course, it had that classic Nintendo tax and cost $8. I don't know if it's worth that. Just for comparison, that's how much most Super Nintendo and Genesis games cost on the Wii Shop. It's a solid little puzzle game, but nothing more than that, really. Every downloadable game service needs a game based on Robinhood, so it was a shame that WiiWare got stuck with this thing. I'd call it an on-rail shooter, but it's literally just a static image where you shoot people running around. Apparently Robinhood is all about killing the rich and helping the poor, so it makes sense that your points get docked if you shoot an innocent person, but why do you get crazy high points for killing a bird? The game is just monotonous. Reloading your arrows takes no time at all, so there's really no challenge here. It's almost impossible to die. It's just a game of endurance. We also have this guy making an appearance every now and then. That's all I have to say on the topic of him. This is the story of a lonely boy who was given a dolphin by King Triton and then vowed to give all the sad children in the world Wii remotes and dolphins. This is the worst Christmas ever. And that's the story of My Dolphin, a game about petting your dolphin and having it do tricks for an audience. I guess you have to buy the extra dolphins in the game to find out whatever the hell happened to King Triton. I named him Puddles and he can do this. I think I finally found my dolphin game, everybody. We've really looked at a lot of WiiWare games, but the only thing that matters is that we finally looked at one that allowed us to make a card. I'm gonna send this to future Scott, maybe around January of 2019 or so. He'll really get a kick out of this. This does nothing for me. Well, with the Wii Shop channel closing on January 30th, I should really take time to appreciate what I have. A Wii filled with WiiWare games, and an open cellar door. Huh. Really makes it easy for anybody to come in and steal my net worth!